Welcome to Checkout Chatter, where we bring you the best recipes and culinary tips straight from Martin supermarkets. I'm your host, Chef Brit, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this delicious journey. I am here with Liz Della Croce today. She is the creator and founder of the Lemon Bowl. Liz, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, the Lemon Bowl, it's huge. Tell me, just how did that come about? Where did it come from?
So essentially, in my early 20s, shortly after getting married, I embarked on a weight loss journey.
Okay.
You see a photo of yourself and you're like, oh no, that's me. And that somehow, I always felt confident and beautiful, but I just saw a photo and I didn't feel like I loved it. Mm-hmm. And my dad's a doctor. I really believe in preventative health and just really trying to, proactively live a healthier life. Mm-hmm. And I embarked on a weight loss journey, which of course is just eating less and working out. So I lost 65 pounds in 18 months and everyone's like, well, how'd you do? What'd you do? And I realized in that moment that not everybody knows how to cook intuitively. Mm-hmm. And while I've been cooking my whole life, I realized most people need a recipe. Mm-hmm. And that sounds silly, but when you cook like you do, it's just you don't realize that a lot of people do need, a written out, measured recipe. And everyone just said, you need to start a blog. Because, in 2010, that was the best way. That was where, yeah. Yeah. So I learned how to write recipes and develop recipes. And I just started the Lemon Bowl to share the healthy recipes I was eating to lose the weight and maintain the weight once I had lost it. Yeah. Without sacrificing fun and tastiness.
That's awesome. Where did the name come from? Like, what made you pick that?
Yeah. So my family is Middle Eastern. Okay. So I have Syrian roots and Jewish roots. So there's a lot of lemon, olive oil, and garlic as well. Yes. But essentially lemon is really the forefront of everything we eat, from marinades to salad dressings to hummus to dips.
Lemon makes everything though. It's a little bit of citrus goes a long way.
It does.
For sure.
It's like if you are under salting and under not adding acid, it's just not going to be a really tasty dish at the end. So that's where the Lemon Bowl came from.
That. So how do your kids feel about the, social media and all that? How are they with it?
My website's older than my kids.
Okay.
So they were raised up with me, which has been a blessing of it because they, I got to work from home.
Yes.
They never had to go to daycare. So that's been a blessing, but they're so used to it. My 11-year-old has a YouTube channel now where he's sharing his recipes. So I think it's just part of what they know to be normal.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So what has been the biggest, you would say, recipe that you've shared that has caught the most attention?
Greek tzatziki sauce is one of my most popular recipes.
Yeah.
My slow cooker chicken curry is one of my most popular. My lemon butter baked whitefish. It's really up to Google what becomes what you're known for.
True.
But I am certainly well known for my hummus, which my great aunt Vive taught me how to make.
I love
and
that.
shish tawak chicken. Again, all these recipes have lemon in them.
Yeah, but it's part of it, right?
Yeah, I just feel like healthy eating is more fun when it tastes good.
For sure, definitely. Yeah. And I love that you said though too that a lot of people just don't know certain things. Me coming into it, learning that some people just don't know how to even peel a clove of garlic. True. Things like that I think just come so natural to creators and this. And I love helping people and showing them just little tips and tricks and things like that. It's great.
It's just about empowering people to live a healthier life and realizing that being healthy doesn't mean you lose anything. So I travel all the time. I have a social life. I do not eat ground turkey with broccoli and brown rice every day. I just can't stand the idea of prepping those sad lunches for your week. So it's really about showing people that you can feel good in your own skin, feel confident, be healthy, maybe prevent some diseases, who knows, but not sacrifice flavor and living a full, healthy, delicious life.
Are your kids big on getting in the kitchen with you?
They are. And I'm sure you know this as a parent yourself. Yeah. There's different phases where they're really into it and then not into it. Both my boys know how to cook. But my 13-year-old now, it's he's also really smart. So he's like, I'll come down when dinner's ready. He's not trying to do extra work.
Right.
But he can cook anything. And similarly, my 11-year-old, though, he loves the independence that I give him in the kitchen.
Okay.
Because I was given that same independence.
Yes.
So if he doesn't want to eat what I'm making, if he wants to cook anything he wants, he can make anything he wants. I just think you have to allow kids to be creative in the kitchen. Otherwise, they will not learn to cook. And I know a lot of folks who weren't necessarily allowed in the kitchen. It was a source of pride for the matriarch and the mom. And I get that. But I want my boys to know how to cook.
Definitely. My 5-year-old Gracie, she is at that stage right now where she wants to be
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
I love that.
I've been teaching her like her thing right now that she is excited about every week is making like the egg bites for the week.
I love that.
So it's like we just do like milk, cottage cheese, and like the blender. And then it's kind of like fridge clean out to where like what veggies do we have? What do we this? And she's like all about wanting to like measure out each one. But it's like just getting her in that like, you know, feel.
100%.
Yeah. And then it's like we have our 10-year-old Max and he like wants pasta with every meal. And it's like just balance. We're teaching balance, you know? Yeah, for sure. But it's fun to have them in there.
It is.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It's messy.
Other times I'm like, can you please just like
I know.
Yeah. So you mentioned the weight loss journey and things like that. So like how do you just now healthy eating, working out, like is that difficult with like being a mom and I mean everything you have going on to like maintain that lifestyle?
It's a lot of work, I'll be honest. So I have a few hacks. I put my workouts in my calendar for the week.
Okay.
So if it's not in my calendar, it really doesn't happen. So I block out that time ahead of time. That way no one else can book a meeting over that time. And I look at my day the night before. So I knew this morning I wouldn't be able to do I love a 9 a.m. workout. But today, obviously, I'm here at 9 a.m. So I worked out at 6:30 a.m. But by planning ahead, I was able to make that happen. I think just like healthy eating and exercise, if you plan, it goes a long way.
Right.
In general, let's just be real. Humans want to eat like carbs and chill. So if you don't proactively make it easier to reach your goals, it's going to be a lot easier to like chill and eat carbs if you don't plan ahead. I feel a lot better by working out every day. But to your point, it's a lot of work. And as you get older, it's like you have to almost work out harder.
Yeah.
It's nice to be healthier now in my 40s than I was in my 20s.
Yeah. My husband's big on like every morning he gets up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock and goes to the gym. And like, I'm just not that person.
No, I don't. You got to find the time you really like to work out.
Like for me, it's more like I have to be like fully awake and have my coffee and stuff, you know, but that's his wake up. So it works for him. I think that's the thing.
Some people nighttime, it's really important to know when you have the most energy in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. With family meals and things, like I think I'm going through a rough time right now with the kids, just finding something that like everybody all of them will eat and it's nutritious, it's healthy. And like, what kind of things have you found work in your household?
I am a picky eater. But I will say this, if you're picky, your kids will be picky too. So a lot of parents will say, my kids don't eat kale. Well, are you eating kale?
Right.
Or my kid hates this. Do you hate it too, Sally? I just really think that if you're not continually offering them healthy options, they won't magically run to the produce aisle and grab themselves kale.
Right.
You have to present it to them. So a couple like easy tips. Number one is bring them to the store, bring them to the farmer's market. Take them to the farm, bring them out to the orchard, let them see where the food comes from. Let them, especially here in Michigan, we have so much produce all around us. The more they have like a say in what they're eating, even just pick a new veggie this week that you want to eat. That goes a long way. Number two, kids are fickle. So I remember a year my son hated blueberries. Do you think I thought that was going to last? Imagine if I was like, Jacob hates blueberries. We're never offering them again. Right. No. You don't listen to kids. They're just trying to get some independence. So by offering a lot of options all the time, I don't ever remove things based on what my kids say they don't like. Because last week my son ate Brussels sprouts for the first time that he used to not like.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I would say let them have a say on how things are prepared. So if they want a soup, if they want a pasta, if they want a stir fry, if they want tacos, and then you add the veggies to whatever their preferred like vessel is.
Yes, I love that. I kind of have made this like dance with my 5-year-old where it's like, try something new time. And we do like a little shake. And then she's like the littlest speckle of something on the fork and she'll put it and she'll be like, that's not so bad.
Right,
you know, but it's like I had to almost make like a game, like something fun out of it.
That's a good idea.
Because if it was up to her, which I can't say she's a bad eater, she would eat grilled chicken and white rice for every single meal.
Totally.
And it's like, it's not bad, but let's like, you know, so I tried different spices on that chicken and things like that.
Here's the thing. If we lived in Thailand, India, or Mexico, they'd be eating spicy foods. And I just continually offer it and slowly, I now put it in everything we eat. So gradually they can eat spicy food. I think because spices have a lot of health benefits. So yeah, I was big on that. And it's another way most spicy foods aren't high calorie. So it's like it adds a lot of flavor without having to rely on butter, cream, cheese.
Mm-hmm. I do love spicy food.
I do too.
It's definitely, we have a hot sauce collection
cool.
at our house. So like, it's like we have, I want to say hundreds of bottles of different hot sauces and things. Cool. But even with spices and stuff like that. So that's something like I love incorporating. Yeah. And I feel like some people get so like intimidated by spice, and really it doesn't have to be to the point of like burning your mouth off hot, but just a little bit adds so much flavor. Yeah, you
can take a jalapeno and remove the seeds and it's hardly that spicy at all, but the spice balances the salt, the sour, the sugar. Yeah.
So in your content creation, I mean, you have so much of it, and it's like, I mean, it's intriguing. It's almost like jumping into a rabbit hole. Like you can't, I mean, it's awesome, but like, where do you come up with like your inspiration?
So a lot of it comes from my heritage and my family. So I grew up with a very diverse culture. And I remember living in West Michigan. No one knew what hummus was when I was a kid in the 80s. And now it's so funny because it's like ketchup.
Yes.
But so part of it's my family. And then also I travel a ton. So I have a hospitality degree and I do a lot of travel writing as well.
That's
so
awesome.
I feel like people travel for the food, myself included.
Oh, for sure.
And whenever I travel, I get inspired. So actually next week I'll be in Puerto Rico. I guarantee I'm going to come home inspired by the flavors of Puerto Rico. And then last but not least, we didn't grow up eating at chain restaurants. We grew up eating at smaller, first-generation American-owned family restaurants. And flavors from around the world are typically a lot healthier than American food. They're very produce-heavy, like meat's not 2/3 of the plate.
Right.
And starch isn't either. And I find that those restaurants, you know, really inspire the flavors that we eat, whether it's a Vietnamese restaurant or a Haitian restaurant or a Caribbean restaurant. I feel like the more food you eat from around the world, the more inspired you'll be at your home kitchen. Definitely. Because again, I don't want to eat grilled chicken every day.
No, I can't. Everything that is at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
It's like I tell everybody just one day a week, try something that you normally
100%.
Would not cook. Something that has a new spice or a new herb in it or something like a sauce, like anything.
Make it fun.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Do you do a lot of travel content or do you mostly do it like, do you have in your home studio? Like where do you produce all of your content?
I do travel content.
Okay.
Yep. So about once a month I do travel stories.
Okay.
So next week I'll be in Puerto Rico filming videos there. But these days, you know, people really want the authentic iPhone, like casual videos more and more, especially from creators like myself. I'm not a major business. Yeah. So it's just really filming from my phone. To be honest, I've had to dial back. We're doing almost less super professional commercial photos and more raw, just like iPhone. That's really what is more authentic. I agree. Less polished. And I feel like especially when you're trying to empower people to cook and do things, you really want to make it look doable at home. Right. So if things are too overly produced, it's not as I don't know, I don't feel like it resonates as well these days.
No, I agree. I think just, you know, for myself or anybody, you know, as you're scrolling, those are the things that catch your eye because 100%. Some things just seem like an advertisement.
It's more relatable.
It is.
Yeah. Like the women that have like the messy bun on. Yeah. Like that. Thank you. That's what I actually look like when I'm cooking.
Or like I'll be filming something and like, you know, one of the kids will like run by or something like that. But it's like, it's real life in our house.
Yeah. We've been filming more like ASMR where the sound is on. But like if there's like a kid noise in the background, I'm not going to remove it because that's real life.
Yes. No, for sure. With everything that you have going on too, like, do you offer like, you know, wellness coaching for people and things like that?
You know, I don't, but I think that's a fun idea. I do certainly hope my recipes help people at least feed their families at home more often. I really want to empower people to cook at home more often. Right. I think that alone is the quickest way to live a healthier life. Is to eat at home as much as you can. Definitely. As opposed to takeout or the drive-through.
Yeah. I try so hard to meal plan because
that's key.
As a busy parent and anybody else, I mean, like busy working, I mean, life is just busy and it's so easy to just run through a drive-through or grab something quick. And
I can actually share what we do. So this might surprise you all, but my husband does all of our grocery shopping. Okay. But what's wonderful about that is he requires a list which forces me to meal plan every single week. He won't go to the store and just like randomly buy things, which is probably a good thing for our budget. So I proactively write out our meal plan for the whole week. And for example, this past week, it included a photo shoot where I was filming 7 recipes. So sometimes that list is very out of control.
Yeah.
But I literally write out, I look at the whole week. For example, I was in Detroit last night, right? Yeah. So I knew that night they'd be eating leftovers from the photo shoot, but it forces you to also repurpose food. So if I'm buying a bag of carrots, I don't want them to go to waste. So I'll find multiple ways to utilize it, which obviously helps you with your food budget.
Right.
It helps you eat healthier. It avoids you wanting drive-through. I also think it's important to plan ahead what you're going to eat so that you're finding creative and delicious ideas that make the fast food less tempting.
Definitely.
If you're eating a kind of a boring, like every Monday's spaghetti, every Tuesday's tacos, like that gets a little old.
It does.
And we want excitement in our lives. So by taking a little bit of time, I do it on Sunday mornings based on my kids go to Sunday school. So that's my time to meal plan. But it could be whatever day is good for you.
Yeah.
But by taking a little bit of time, it's going to save you money. It's going to be saving you calories.
Definitely.
And it's going to make healthy eating and just family time around the table with your family much more enjoyable when you're not eating those same like meals all the time.
Definitely. I want to say as a kid, like we had a lot of like repeat meals, but something that always sticks out to me is like every night, you know, like today's day and age, I feel like, you know, people are eating on the couch or like wherever they want to. And like my family was very big on like we sat down at the dining room table.
Yep.
There was no distractions. There was no devices, anything like that.
Yeah.
And everybody had to say, like, what was the best thing that happened to you today?
Yeah.
And, like, we would do that. And, like, you know, I mean, I came from, you know, my stepdad was very big on, like, a meat, potato, vegetable. There was always, like, bread and butter on the table.
I love
very
that.
traditional.
My husband wishes that was his reality.
Very, very traditional. But it was just that memory of sitting there with the family.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking. And it was, I think sometimes we all have to remind ourselves to take a little bit of a step back and really enjoy our family and our food together. And
right. Yeah, we do that. I'm glad that we don't eat on couches and things like that. We do what's your peak and pit of the day. I will say, I think meal planning helps with that because life is busy and with after school activities. By planning ahead, like I might make a slow cooker meal if I know we have to, like we had a holiday concert this week at 6:30 p.m. So I had to have dinner ready earlier than normal so we could eat before the concert. So just looking at your schedule for the week ahead and prioritizing family dinner. It's the same as how I prioritize my workout. So I proactively find ways. I think it's all about being proactive, which sounds boring and might sound like some people think that it restrains them, but the more I plan, the more freedom I have throughout the week.
It really does help and keep organized for sure.
Yes.
Like I'm big, like we post our menu on the fridge.
That's a good idea.
We have to, because if not, like the kids,
I need to. The problem is if I change it, my type A firstborn's like, Mom, it said here we're having tacos.
Yeah.
I do tend to like, I'd like to still have some creativity in but because during COVID especially we were like it just helped them to know since we weren't ever leaving the house. Right.
But yeah, ours are like they want to know, and if not, we're getting asked.
No, it's a good idea. I remember it saved so many questions.
So many. What else do you have in your family that you can give for advice or nutrition tips or anything like that?
If my kids are eating healthy 80% of the time, I don't really worry about the other 20%. I think that if you're too restricted, they're going to go to a friend's house and just like eat a bunch of cookies. So really nothing's off limits. I just really try to teach 80-20 rule, moderation. And I think that at the end of the day, you have to model good behavior. So my kid sees me on the Peloton. Now he's on the Peloton.
I love that.
And my kid sees me going to the gym and now they want to go to the gym. And I think that the reality of it is if you're not modeling good behavior, you can't really be upset that your kids aren't doing it as well.
Very true.
So similarly, they see me cooking and incorporating an ungodly amount of produce in our meals, but I think that that's good because that normalizes it for them. And I know every time that they, go to summer camp or whatever else, that they're missing our food, which I think is a good sign that we're doing something right.
I love that. Liz has been so great. Like, I've learned so much. I love your content and I love your story. And I really appreciate you talking with me today.
Of course.
And so hopefully we can do this again soon.
Please,
and get together.
I'd love to. Next time we can cook together.
I love that idea.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in to Checkout Chatter. Please subscribe, comment, and leave a review. Don't forget to visit Martin Supermarket's websites for products and resources mentioned in this episode. Until next time, happy cooking.